Sup, y'all? Anime Bones. First video of the new year, so happy New Year's to everyone. I'm a bit late on the first video of the new year, but happy New Year's to everyone. If you've been watching or if you're new to watching, thank you. I appreciate it. Keep watching, keep supporting, and let's just grow bigger. Now, I've been watching anime this year, of course, and these fighting scenes have been great, but it made me went back and think, what are some of the ones that was not good at all and that disappointed me? So that's when I came out and I wanted to make this list with the top 5 most disappointing anime fights of all time. Top 5 most disappointing anime fights. Now check it. This will be disappointing in multiple different ways. Sometimes it doesn't mean the anime fight wasn't good. It just means it didn't live up to the hype that it was supposed to be. Or sometimes that fight really just wasn't good. But I'm combining them both to make this list and fulfill the meaning of a disappointed fight or a disappointment of a fight. So with that being said, let's start it. Quick honorable mention. Out the gate, let's say Zeus versus Adam, Record of Ragnarok. For you guys that watch it, it's not really a high-key anime, but it's on Netflix if you want to check it out. I personally think it's still good, but I know manga readers think that fight wasn't as good. Now, I'm not saying that fight was amazing, and I didn't read the manga, so I don't know how good it was in the manga, but I think it was decent. It was a lot of still frames and stuff like that, but overall, I think the fight was decent. It's still the best of the show. But I do remember before I even knew what the anime or manga was, I used to just see pictures of Adam, like the guy holding the apple. I used to like, who's that guy? He looks so cool. And now I know why. And I can only imagine how good it must have been in the manga and how good it could have been in the anime if it was better animation. So that's going to be our honorable mention, our number 6 place, if you will. But now to get into the list, number 5. Number 5 is going to go to Muichiro versus Yoko. I think I how you say those names, but I'm gonna show you a clip. But either way, it's the Miss Hashira versus the Vase nigga from Demon Slayer. I said it. All right, now that fight, not only that fight, that season might have been the most disappointing season of the year for me. Other than that, that was also a very disappointing fight. That fight was trash. The Miss Hashira was only really struggling because he had to protect the little guy and the other guy would be making swords. Other than that, he easily no diffed him. Like, especially when his Demon Slayer mark came out, he just beat him easily. And I get it. He's a strong Mist Hashira. He's a strong Hashira to begin with. But, bro, that fight was, like, trash. Not only that, the demon himself just wasn't that cool. I mean, we got Akaza. We got the second Upper Moon. All these other demons are just cool. But the 5th and the 4th one was just trash for some reason. I don't know why. Especially the 5th one. Like, this nigga was in a vase throwing out freaking fishes at niggas. Like, he was just a trash demon, honestly. So that whole fight, the anime season, that was just disappointing. That deserves number 5. And y'all can't tell me it wasn't disappointing, especially coming from Red Light District with my boy Tengen, especially coming from Mugen Train, especially coming from the first season. That fight and in totality, that season was very disappointing to me. All right, now to number 4. Number 4 is going to go to My Hero Academia. And I said this fight was disappointing since the moment it came out, and that is Lemillion versus Overhaul. Now, this fight came out when I was like in high school, and I remember Overhaul seemed like he was a badass. Like, he was damn near going to be like the main villain. He seemed so evil. And Lemillion came in and beat the whole class up on some Kakashi Obito Kamui moves, just going through the floor and just beating up everybody with his bare hands, butt naked. So I was excited for this fight. I never read the manga, but I was like, oh, these niggas is about to scrap. But what did I get? Did I get a good fight? No. What I got was a PowerPoint fight. And that's what I got. It was a guy, he might as well had to stick and said this scene and this scene and this is happening, because it literally was a PowerPoint. And I was like, yo, this fight was not good at all. And I remember people trying to say, nah, the fight's good. I'm like, bro, did we not watch the same fight? Like, it's just a PowerPoint. They talk about still frames. That's the whole fight. That fight was definitely disappointing, and it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. Even the fight after that with Deku wasn't that good either, but it was definitely way better than that fight. That fight was trash. Now, to number 3, this one's going to have the biggest disagreement from everyone, but I'm going to just say this. I'm not saying it's a bad fight. I'm just saying it ain't lived up to what it was supposed to be, and I feel like if you guys were being honest and being unbiased, y'all would agree with me. Number 3 is Luffy versus Kaido. Now, check me out. I read the manga for this. The manga was fire. I was like, oh, this is hard. I was like, this fight's cool. Gear 5 first came out. We've been waiting for Gear 5 forever. We've been waiting for Kaido to be fought for like 6 years since Punk Hazard. We've been waiting to see Luffy fight him. But y'all can't lie, this fight did not live up to the hype. First of all, this fight was long as hell. Other than the Wano arc being long as hell, this fight was long as hell. But if we all had to be honest also, the best fight out the Wano arc wasn't that fight. It probably was Zoro vs. King. And honestly, I think the Sanji vs. Queen was better. And even Zoro fighting Kaido, doing the move to Kaido was even better. Like, that fight wasn't the best fight. The best thing about that fight was Luffy going Gear 5, and I still think that moment alone wasn't good. I think Luffy going Gear 5 and the Dr. Vegapunk Egghead Island arc, I think that's gonna be better. Because they're not gonna do as much extra shit. Like, they're not gonna do the whole Luffy jumping around like this for 10 minutes, being so excited that he's doing Gear 5. Like, bro, can we be like, I get it's a funny, happy, laughing, like, Devil Fruit, I get it. But, like, can you whip his ass? Like, why did we see the same frame of Luffy jumping around 2 times in a row? It was crazy. That fight was not lived up to the hype, and that fight was supposed to be at least a top 10, top 15 anime fight of all time. And we all know it's not. Like, if you had to pick a top 10 anime fight, you're not going to be like, oh, well, you can't forget Luffy versus Kaido. You're not going to say that. You're not going to say that. And we've been waiting for them niggas to fight for 6 years. So the fact that we can't say that or even think of saying that, I'm not even putting it in my top 20 anime fights, if I'm being honest with you, means that it didn't live up to the hype. So therefore, it was a disappointment. Now, was it trash? No. But it definitely, out of the 6 years we had to wait for the fight, didn't live up to it. Sorry, but I think that's the truth. And then, these next 2 fights was garbage. Not only was they disappointing, they were garbage. Now, number 2, for my ones that are old heads or that ones that go back and check out the older animes, Soul Eater, Maka versus the Kishin. Now, to make this short for you guys, the Kishin was the final fight in the whole show. So you already know off the rip, it being a final fight, it should be the best fight. Now, number 2, imagine Gojo and he's fighting Sukuna. And Gojo's losing, but he wins because he just was so brave that he just slapped Sukuna and then he won. No. Let's replace Gojo with Yuji. So Yuji was so brave, even though Sukuna was trashing him, that he just slapped Sukuna and he won. That's basically what happened here. Because the main villain, the Kishin, was the same level as the strongest good guy on their team, which was basically God, which was the Reaper. And Maka and her team was getting trashed, right? And the fight of them getting trashed was cool. But then Maka was so beat up, this girl stood up and she had nothing left in her, but she slowly walked to the Kishin. And the Kishin was like, oh, how is she walking up to me? She's so brave. How? She's so courageous. And then she said, ah! And just for her being courageous, this man lost the fight. That had to be the most craziest, talk about the power of friendship. That was the trashiest ending to an anime, especially fight-wise, ever. That was the ending is insane to me. That fight was garbage, and I'm mad about that ending, and it ruined the show for me, honestly. Now, number 1 is more crazier, because it's not the end of the show, but I'm going to just say who it is, because you guys are going to understand. Meliodas versus Escanor. Now, we all know the whole show is disappointing, especially after Season 2. But what made it disappointing, really, is how much Season 1 and Season 2 made us love these 2 niggas. We both learned how strong they were. Season 1, we got Escanor with the classic, who told you that you could beat me, whatever he said, or who decided that? That's what he said, with the whole who decided that. Then we have Meliodas, when he had the blade in his mouth and he fought all the 10 commandments by himself. And when he pulled up to all of them by himself and beat one of their ass up easily. We love these guys, and we knew these guys were strong as hell. And what did we get? We got the worst animation we could ever see. Ever. Like, you would thought that, like, 90s and 80s animes had better fights than this. Like, that was the worst fight. And that's crazy to honestly think about that. Like, the 80s anime has better fighting scenes than what they gave us for these 2 guys that was hyped up for the whole first 2 seasons. So that easily, and I don't know what to give, but I'm going to have to give it to them 2. But Soul Eater comes close with that damn Maka fight, because the fact that she won the fight just because she was courageous destroys my mind. And the fact that someone was in the office and said, that's it, that'll do it, and everyone was like, yeah, that's a good, like, that's insane to me. That's insane. Those 2 are so easily the most disappointing fights in all of anime. I'm sorry, but the Luffy one, I'm saying, from what we thought it should have been, it wasn't that, and that's why it has to go on that list. I'm sorry if some of you guys don't feel that way, but I think this is a great list. Y'all let me know if I'm missing an anime fight that really disappointed you. And I know you One Piece fans gonna be like, no, come on. Listen, guys, be honest. That fight should have been better. I said it. All right, that's my opinion. Y'all let me know what you think. Anime Bones out.